Welcome to my watercolor series. It is a two series watercolor workshop. This is a session I took last week. So I'll be sending the recording of this. Here I'm painting the sky first with a ultramarine blue and a little crimson color in that to give a little darker shade of blue. So in watercolor, what we do is we tape the paper onto the board with the help of masking tape, so the paper doesn't warp as the color dries, because it's less of the pigment and more of the color, more of the water. And also the paper that I've taken is 300 GSM, which is a little thicker, so it warps much less than the paper that you take with lesser GSM, which is the weight of the paper. I'm showing you the fast version of this recording with faster speed, but yeah, you can stop anytime you want to follow along. So I'm doing the trees with the sap green color. So you can make trees as bunches, as blocks. Here I'm trying to make the leaves as well, but you can make it as just blocks of green colors to show an impression of the trees in the background. And then I'm adding a little darker shade with Hooker's green, or you can also add a little ultramarine blue with the green, with the sap green. It gives darker shade of green. And you can leave some branches as I've left here in the darker shade. Like you can leave that area for the branch and paint the darkness with the dark green. So what we do in the background is we just give an impression of light and dark without adding too much detail, because we want the focus of the painting to be on an actual thing where we want to focus, where we want the user to focus on. So the background can be just an impression of light and dark. Also in watercolors, as the color dries, it becomes even lighter. So sometimes you have to add a little next layer, a little darker layer. In watercolors, we go from light to darker shades. We paint the lighter shades first, like here we have painted the light green first, then I'm putting darker green over that. So in this picture, I've taken a little foreground, background, and some hay in the middle area for the user to focus. So here's a complete background slide that I painted on. And now I'll give a little color to the ground, which is light green, grass green color. You can also add lemon yellow with sap green or light green. You can take. You can do this with a little bigger, a little larger brush to give it in fast stroke. and leave the hay as white, so you can add color to it. And I'm using the same color for the foreground bushes to show lighter shades. Only difference in background and foreground is the colors. In the foreground you use more brighter colors, so to show like the thing closer to yourself. Yeah, I'm using lighter shade of green, like light green, or you can use sap green, little lemon yellow here. As in a painting, we add clear, light, and dark where the light is falling from, and where you can show a little dark to make it more clear. I'm adding a little darker green along with the lighter green to make it more closer to yours. Make it look more closer to you. So without adding too much details in the foreground, I'm just using brighter color in the foreground bushes as compared to the background trees. And now on the slide I've added burnt sienna color to the hay, and I'm also adding a little darker green in the background trees. So the brushes that I've used here are the squirrel brushes, the squirrel hair, which absorbs more water. I'm just adding more dark colors. I think it has become a little bright and lighter. The earlier layers, they're becoming a little lighter. And then I'll also add more light and dark to the haze to make it more prominent. As you can see, I have used 5 bunches of haze here. It is intentional because In the picture you see so many, and here I try to use an uneven number of haze, so the view's eye can move from one to the other without getting fixed at the at pairing, like two pairing. If you add even numbers like 2 4 of the haze, then a viewer's eye tend to pair those and get stuck there. So we want the viewer to move from one side of the painting to the other. Also the size of the haze, if you see, there's a little bigger in the foreground, the smaller ones are a little farther, which helps move the eye of the viewer from one haze to the other. I think I'm done with the background now, and I'll be adding more color to the foreground bushes and some to the haze to get more focus in the haze. Here I'm adding a little more shade to the foreground bush. Adding a little lighter color to sap green and a little lemon yellow. And then I'll also add more details to the haze. By adding little cast shadows under the haze, I'll give more attention to it. I want the user to see it more. I want the focus to be more on this. These in one of the haze will give more focus, and slowly the eyes move to the other haze, and then to the background and foreground of the painting. You can use a smaller brush for the haze as the area is a little smaller. I'll use the same brush, but you can use different smaller brush by adding more shadow. And the colors that I've used here is burnt sienna, a little darker green, or ultramarine with burnt sienna to make a dark shade of that green or brown. And the shadows. So if you see the shadows of the haze are more darker than the shadows on the haze. So yes, have fun with watercolors. I enjoy doing watercolors. I hope you all enjoy watercolors and get really interested in doing it. The medium is so versatile and so interesting, and that you can even find your expression in watercolors. Here I'm adding light and dark of the ground. In painting we do that. In the photograph you won't see this light and dark differentiation, but here we add dark and light to make light and dark more clear. I'm adding more detail to the haze, adding more detail. So it's, this one of the haze more focused than the other. Westbrook. There's also the golden rule in the painting to keep the focus of the painting to the 1/3 of the paper. Here it's a little away from 1/3 of the paper. Uh, but yeah, it's like kind of in the center though. But center is also one area where the focus goes. Hope you all enjoyed this. Thank you. Subscribe my channel to get updates on the next sessions. Sometimes I take some free sessions like this. Thank you for watching.